Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com for Inside the Zone. Justin Kitty from the News Sentinel, Glenn Marini here to talk postseason high school football.
It's here.
After week 9 of the regular season. We are talking playoffs. Let's go through some of the local brackets. We're going to start in 6A, where we've only got one bracket in sectional 3. And you got a couple of teams that we're really familiar with, and we talked a lot about in Carroll and Homestead. They're on opposite sides. So you got Warsaw at Carroll in week 1, Homestead at Northrop in week 2. How do you see this playing out ultimately? Are we thinking Homestead-Carroll for the sectional championship?
Yeah, I think so. Homestead-Northrop is one of those games that's a rematch of Week 9, which I don't like. I think there should be a rule where you don't play a team in your sectional Week 9 in conference. But that game could be closer Friday, Homestead-Northrop, but Homestead will win. Carroll, we should be able to take care of Warsaw pretty easily. The Tigers are kind of sneaky good, but I think Carroll will be ready to play on their home field. So another Carroll-Homestead rematch in the playoffs. So what do you know?
I know. It seems like we've seen that quite a bit, or at least seen them play each other quite a bit throughout the regular season, obviously, over the last few years. But Warsaw versus Carroll, Riley Rhodes, a star receiver for Warsaw. It sounds like he got injured last week in the game, so maybe their best player is out. But as we mentioned off camera, you were saying the NLC is a pretty good football conference, and Warsaw's been able to beat some good teams this season.
It's sneaky good. I think you've got Goshen in there, and Concord, and Warsaw, and Northridge, and Northwood, and I think those are all solid programs. And Northwood they'll host East Noble. That's a solid program, Northwood. So I think Warsaw maybe a little bit under the radar, a little bit. That's why I say Carroll better respect them, better come out ready to play. I think they will. But if for some reason they come out flat, Warsaw has enough talent and experience and are good enough to put a scare into them.
And I look at that Homestead-Northrop game, and like you mentioned, they played each other in week 9 of the regular season. How does that happen? Because you've got the SAC with Carroll and Homestead coming in. They completely got to revamp the whole schedule. There are no non-conference teams to worry about. I mean, I guess you have to worry about the duality of Spooler and Zollner, so there's something to factor in. But you've also got Dwenger playing Wayne, which we'll talk about in a little while. I don't know. Maybe it's more difficult than I'm thinking, but you don't want teams that could possibly play in sectionals playing in week 9. What do they do to rectify that? How does it happen?
I can't imagine why you couldn't just flip a game. Let's say Homestead and Northrop are playing week 9. You just flip that with another road game at Spooler or something like that. I mean, it can't be that hard. I just think it's an oversight, and they need to rectify it because it's just kind of silly. If you're playing a team earlier in the year and then as opposed to later, a lot of things can change. Injuries, you get guys back, and momentum, things like that. But when you play teams back-to-back weeks, it's just kind of pointless, I mean, it's just, not fair, especially to the team that's kind of in the deficiency because, what can they do? They're not improving that much over a week.